welcome. And Galen has joined us instead of Jonathan, who is not with us.
Hey, listen,
What's up? What's new?
that countdown music is a bop. I don't care what anybody says.
It's a bop. What's a bop?
The countdown, it's a hit. Like you want to bop to it.
It's jingle.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's built into the software. I mean, I wish I had something nicer, but
I love it. Countdown.
Galen, is Passover not starting where you are? I don't know where you are. Seattle?
California, in the Bay Area.
Oh,
Oh yeah, it's 3:00 there in the afternoon.
It's evening, 3:00. It's already started for
here.
you, right?
Yeah, here the Seder at the hotel was started at 8 p.m.
8 p.m.
Now it's 1 o'clock in the morning here.
What does the hotel do? Just out of curiosity, like
that's our busiest time of the year, but this year it's really hurt by the lack of tourism. So as we're normally functioning at like 110% occupancy, this year we're operating about 50. Maybe we'll get up to 60% by the middle of the week.
Wow.
I mean, it could be worse, but basically the idea is that a lot of families come to the hotel year after year, and they do private seders for their family, or they go to the general seder that the hotel puts on. And so today I think we had at least 10 different seders going on in the hotel. At least 10. Yeah. And I was at the front desk at the concierge. So, Hi, Adele.
Hey, how are you? I
Good,
enjoyed the
welcome.
conversation today and the Joshua YouTube. You made quite a few nice comments. I kind of enjoyed it. What's going on with
It's
Jonathan?
nice to have Jonathan with us, isn't it?
He's disappearing. He's busy for us. I'm kind of disappointed. I need to talk to him or something. I don't know.
We need to give him feedback that people enjoy the Weingreen sessions and it's something that's worthwhile.
Yeah.
Oh, what's been really fun is having you two join in last few weeks. That's been a really good time for me at least.
Let me open.
And Muriel's always here too.
Indeed. Muriel one day needs to jump up here on stage with us.
I should say though, just let you know, I should say that this exercise, the 20, as far as English Hebrew translation, was a little bit tough, to be honest, on me, but I did it. I did a lot of mistakes, and I should admit that, but we'll see.
Well, at the Hebrew Cafe, mistakes are not tolerated. So
you just don't see me.
I'm in the wrong crowd.
I don't mispronounce 15 words in the first session every week just for anything. So and it's always the same. It's always the same letter. I just can't get it. Can't get it right.
Right. It's the ka and the cha.
I know.
Yeah. So in Arabic they have a lot more options.
No, I didn't know that. I don't feel like I really want to know that.
Because they have the sound that's like hey, like ha, and then they've got ha, and they've got cha, and they've got ka. Like they've got a lot of options.
They do.
Hebrew's very
simple. The second one didn't sound any different from the first one.
It is different.
It sounded.
Yeah. So if we could write them, let's see. Do I have Arabic? I don't have Arabic keyboard right now on my keyboard, but whatever. Here we go. Verse number 1. We're going to call them verses, but they're not really verses. Kis acha Elohim leolam v'yashavta alav b'tzedek. I'll get us started. Kis acha. This is your throne. Your throne, O God. O God. The is assumed, right? Forever. And you shall sit. This is the future. V'yashavta. Upon it, alav, in righteousness. You shall sit upon it in righteousness. And in righteousness could be taken as verbally, where we would say righteously. right? All right. That's the beginning of our exercises. Who wants number 2? Pay attention to the pronunciation of the first word.
Let's go by the sequence here, since it'll make it easier.
Oh,
All right.
yeah.
Colton and then
Hallelu et Adonai kol goyim shavhu oto kol yoshvei haaretz ki gadol ad hashemayim kavodo.
Great. Why do you say hallelu and not hallu? Hallu.
Because it's 2 llamas back to back.
That's separated by shva.
Yeah, well, just to
Even though
separate the two.
technically it's a silent shva,
Yeah.
the 2 letters, if they're the same sound, will still be separated off as if it were a vocal shva.
Yeah.
That's true.
Okay, so
And plus we know the word hallelujah. 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 Hallelujah.
praise the Lord.
And the Lord is Yud He Vav He, right? It's not a title,
Yep.
it's God's name.
Sorry. Thank you. Praise the Yahweh.
I prefer to write YHWH just because it's a reminder that it's not a title, right? If it said Adonai, like Aleph, Dalet, Nun, Yud, then I would say, okay, that's the Lord. But if it's a name, it's a name.
What is Shavach?
Shabchu. L'shabeach. L'shabeach is to praise.
Thank you. Praise him.
Yeah, that was a new word for me.
All
Actually, when
the
you read it.
all.
How common is this word shefech? I've this first time I see it actually when I studied the vocab for this exercise.
Well, the word for praise is shevach, and it means that you. How about extol? It's when you say that somebody's done something good.
Okay.
So if you're at work, and you do a good job, someone will write up some praise for you. Shevach. This plays in the most commonly known, the most familiar use of the word is at the end of the Jewish prayer cycle, like when you finish the prayers. There's a prayer that's called Aleinu. Aleinu with Aleph or with Ayin. Aleinu. So the prayer says Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol latet gudula liotzer bereshit. Alenu means upon us. It's our responsibility. It's our duty. It is upon us to praise the Lord of everything. Alenu l'shabeach la'adon hakol latet gdula liotzer bereshit, to ascribe greatness to the creator of Bereshit, the creator in the beginning. So that's the
Ooh, I like that. I just like that phrase. I just like
what?
the creator of the one of in the beginning. I like that.
The fashioner, the Yotzer Bereshit, the one who fashions in the beginning.
There's also a song that goes Shabachi Yerushalayim et Adonai. I think it's by Dach.
Is that a song? Is from the Psalms? Shabchi Yerushalayim et Adonai?
It's a song. I think it's a modern song by a Yemeni artist. Shabachi Yerushalayim.
L'shabeach. L'shabeach is to praise or to extol the goodness of someone. Yeah.
Okay.
Great. All right. So praise Yud-He-Vav-He, all nations. Extol him, all inhabitants of the earth, for great is his glory unto the heavens. Ki gadol ad hashamayim kvodo. Good.
Okay. 3. Bukash hadavar וימצא והנה אמת דיבר האיש. ויסופר למלך לאמור, הנה נמצאים בעיר אנשים רשעי לב, המבקשים את דמי מלכנו. Okay.
So this illustrates the grammar from this lesson. Bukash.
So
Bukash is passive of bikish.
pu'al. So the thing hadavar was sought. And
Vaimatse needs to have a dagesh in the mem. Sorry. Because it's nifal. The nun is assimilated. Vaimatse. It means ve nimsa. Nimsa.
So, and was found, if it's nifal. And thus the man spoke in truth.
So it's like behold, right? And behold, the man was speaking truth, or he was telling the truth.
Is it, I guess it's not actually a participle, but we can just make it a participle.
Yeah, the man spoke. Spoke and was speaking are both past tense.
Past tense. Okay. I was speaking.
Mm-hmm.
This is just the gerund.
But it's not in truth, it's truth. Well, gerund is specifically when a verb is acting like a noun. It's not every form of ing. This is a present participle ing.
Ah, okay. So this is an English present participle. This is not a Hebrew participle. This is just PL
Right.
in the.
So diber means he spoke, and he was speaking, and he had spoken. It's more complete than just he spoke.
Okay, thank you. To truth, and so very super.
So what would be the subject of supal?
He, who, Haish?
No, it's implied. It was told to the king.
Truth, and it was told to the king. Saying, behold, we are let's see where. This is a
Lev is wicked of heart.
Wicked of heart, but the nimtsaim would be almost the ones were found.
Yeah. So make that the predicate. Wicked-hearted men are found in the city. Mean that they are in the city.
Mm-hmm.
There are wicked-hearted men in the city, is how we would say it today. There are wicked-hearted men in the city.
There are wicked-hearted men in the city.
And this participle is prefixed by the relative hey, who are seeking.
Okay. Who are seeking the blood of our king. So you call it the relative hey. So in other words, the question hey, is that similar or
It's not a question.
Not a question.
It would look the same, but this is the it's definite article that's making the participle in function as a relative clause. So it says, "Behold, are found in the city men wicked of heart, the ones seeking the blood of our king." That's very literal.
Ones.
So hamavakshim are the ones seeking, the seeking ones. But we translate it as a relative clause. Who are seeking?
Okay.
So instead of saying hamivakshim, we could say asher mivakshim.
Hmm.
Asher mivakshim and hamivakshim mean the same thing. They're both. It means that this is functioning as a relative clause. There are wicked-hearted people in the city who are seeking the blood of our king, and the blood here is his lifeblood. They want to kill him.
Okay.
All right. All right. Adele, number 4.
Okay. Number 4. דבר אל האבן הזאת בשמי, ויצאו ממנה מים, וקידשת אותי לעיני בני ישראל, וידבר משה אל האבן, וישפכו ממנה מים כדבר אדוני. Speak to this stone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Stone in my name.
Yep.
And they found on it.
Yatsa is not matzah. It's not found.
And go out and the
Mm-hmm.
and
what's the subject of it?
the mime,
The subject of
the Avon, and from it, water.
Water. Mm-hmm.
Was
but it's the
went
future.
out or
Water will come out.
Will come out.
Mm-hmm. Now we could express this also as a purpose statement. Speak to the stone in my name, so it will come out. A purpose clause.
Yeah, sure. Thus,
but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be.
Okay,
but it could be.
Okay, sure. And the imperative, sanctify. Me before the sons of Israel, right?
So we would normally say in the eyes of the children of Israel, or in the eyes of the Israelites.
Okay, in the eyes. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, now. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And the kidashta would be, and you shall sanctify me.
Okay, let me correct that.
Mm-hmm.
And you shall sanctify me before the eyes, be in the eyes of
the
sons of Israel.
Okay.
And then and Moses. Yes. Moses spoke to the stone and water poured from it as the Lord spoke.
Well, we can say according to the word of the Lord, because it's not really a verb; it's davar, it's a noun.
Yeah.
According to
Okay, sure.
And the vaishafchu, it should be without the pot. Okay. Vaishafchu is they were poured out, and water was poured out from it, meaning that
according to the word,
flowed out of it, I guess. All right, very nice. We do have a question that I want to answer real quick. Jonathan asks, "What's the difference between the relative and the substantive?" So, substantive is when you turn an adjective, in this case, a participle, into a noun. So harodef, we saw in the Joshua reading, where the ones who were running away, or the one who was running away, became, it says ne'apach lerodef, like he became rodef. Harodef is the one chasing, the chaser, the pursuer. So when you turn a participle into to where it's functioning as a noun, it's functioning either as the subject of the verb or the object of the verb or the object of a preposition, then it has become substantivalized. It's become a substantive, which substantive is just a fancy word for noun. So relative is when you have a noun, you already have it, and then you have the participle, and they're joined together with ha. So like we say, anashim, ha mivakshim. The people, anashim is already a noun. So ha mivakshim is modifying the noun, so it wouldn't be a noun modifying a noun. So it's acting like a relative clause. And normally this happens when you have an indefinite noun phrase without the article, and then the participle with the article. So trying to think of an example. It's not popping to mind because it's 1:30 in the morning. I'm sorry. But this is a good example. Anashim rish'ei lev hamvakshim. So hamvakshim is definite, but anashim that it's modifying is indefinite. So it can't be the people who are pursuing, the people who are seeking. It can't be, because anashim is indefinite, right? If it were ha-anashim hamavakshim, it would be the men who are seeking, the ones seeking. But this is just people who are seeking. Yeah. So there's substantive is whenever you wouldn't have a noun by itself, and the participle has to act as the noun in whatever function it's fulfilling. Okay? Alright. Good. So it's back to me for number 5. Bnei Aharon hakohanim amdu beveit Adonai vayihalalu et shmo lemor gadol Adonai umehulal meod be'ir Elohenu. Okay, so the sons of Aaron, we're going to say the Aaronites. How about that? Aaronites. Okay, and then in apposition, we say the priests, the Kohanim, stood in the house of God, and they praised his name, saying, and this is telling us what they said, great is the Lord, and praised, extremely or highly praised, in the city of our God. Okay, Be'ir Elohim. Notice mehulal is the pual, and it's used as an adjective. It's very common to use nifal and pual as adjectives, not as verbs. Okay?
Kadesh et
Number 6.
Aharon. Oh, sorry. Kadesh et Aharon ahicha ve'et banav v'hayu kohanim lihema. Lihema.
So take the li not with hema, but li, like v'hayu kohanim li. Okay, and then we have an apposition, hema v'zar'am achreihem.
Okay.
Mhm.
Sure. Yeah. V'hayu kohanim li hema v'zaram acharehem ad olam v'shamaru. Oh, sorry. V'shamaru et avodati v'hechali. Okay. So sanctify Aaron, your brother, and his sons, they and their seed after them will be priests. Priests for me forever.
Mm-hmm.
And they will observe my service in my temple. How that I don't like that. How would you clean that up? That last part.
I would say that they would
Keep my
work, keep my. Basically, they're the ones who would keep the temple service, keep it working. So I don't know how exactly. "V'shamru et avodati b'eichali." It's not a very good sentence, but
well.
they will.
That's
They
how
will.
it's used. I mean that.
Yeah.
I mean that's how it's used in. I mean I've just read through all of. I just read through First Chronicles, and it is that shamru avodah. Like it's those. That's the phrase it uses all the
Mhm.
way through it. And like I know what it's trying to say, but like it doesn't make good English in my
Maybe
head.
they will preserve my service, preserve the worship of me. Like they'll be the ones who preserve it, to make sure that it's done correctly and that it isn't forgotten.
They will
Vishamru is
thank
very
yeah.
famous in Jewish prayer for Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et Hashabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית העולם. The children of Israel shall keep the Sabbath, to do the Sabbath in all their generations as an eternal covenant.
Yeah.
That's very
Like I
well
said,
known.
the English just isn't my favorite thing ever.
Yeah, you got the idea. Echal isn't so common for temple anyway. Echal is not a common word.
Yeah, where does that appear? Echal.
What's that?
Where does
Echal is it's a loan word, I think, from what? Ugaritic, which
Probably.
means a palace. It refers to a palace, like Echal HaMelech, the palace of the king, but it's used sometimes in religious context to refer to the palace of God or the temple of God. Generally, the word for temple is just house.
Okay. So would it be
in Arabic,
referring to
hikhal. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
In Arabic, you have Echal.
Yeah, it means sanctuary. Sanctuary. That's what it means. Hikhal.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. כבד את אביך ואת אמך למען תחיה ברכתי עליך בארץ אשר אנוכי נותן לך. So kaved is imperative PL, right? So honor. And the dagat here is because the preceding word is a consonant, and that's the beged kefid rules, right?
There isn't a preceding. No, the dagation the bet is because it's PL. PL doubles the middle root letter.
Okay. So honor your father and your mother.
It would be smart of us, instead of calling it PL, to call it Pa'el, because in almost all forms the initial vowel is A, not E. It's only E in the past tense.
Because this is
So in the
the
imperative, in the future, in the
infinitive.
infinitives, it's all ah. But in the past tense, it's kabed.
Yeah, it's only in the comes from the fact that they do use the perfects for the stems.
Yeah.
Tenses, But you're right. It would. I mean, that's what Aramaic does too.
Like, it's unfortunate that it's in all of the forms, but we call it el.
Yeah, only in the perfect is it PL.
And then people look at it and it says kabed, but it says kabed. Why isn't it? Why is that PL? There's no E there.
And then what is kebed is kidney?
Look, kaved. Kaved is liver.
Liver.
Kidney is kilia.
Yeah. It's kaved because it's the heaviest organ in our body, right? Or in the body of a sheep or an animal.
I don't know, but kaved also means heavy. And kabed is to give importance, because to give weight.
Mhm.
You give weight to your father. You make him weighty or important, and your mother. But it doesn't mean like make them fat, because that wouldn't be very nice. Feed your parents a lot of food so they get fat and heavy. No, that's not what it means. It means to give them kavod. Give them kavod.
Kol kavod, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Great. Number 8.
יוסף עשה לו שם גדול בארץ, והיא מקובד מאוד בעיני חכמי
בעיני?
מצרים.
בעיני חכמי.
חכמי מצרים.
Mhm.
Joseph. Okay. Again, I'm sorry.
Those keys, where are they?
Yes. Joseph. Okay. I went and Joseph again. My God. Yeah, check Joseph. Okay.
Okay, Joseph.
Made for himself, as I think. Great name in the land.
Mm-hmm. So Shem Gadol could also be a great reputation, right? Shem can be reputation in the Bible. We actually have a modern word that means reputation. It's called monitin. Monitin. I don't know where that comes from, but that's how you say reputation. But in the Bible, reputation is also name.
Okay. And in the eyes of the Egyptian wise, or the wise of Egypt, maybe the wise men of Egypt. I should spell that properly.
It is your country, after all.
Yeah. Should not do that wrong.
It is the woman of Egypt. He
was great, I guess, right?
But mechubad is like kabed, to give honor or respect. He was greatly
honorably
respected.
great, honored, respected.
Yeah.
Okay. I passed that one.
Yeah. So we have, in modern Hebrew, we will use 2 words that sound very similar. Nechmad. Nechbad and nichbad. Nichbad. Kal nichbad is honored audience. Kal nichbad. Nichbad in the nifal instead of mechubad. Mechubad is like
Sorry.
It also means honored or respected, but we say respectable. Mechubad is respectable, generally, today. And nichbad is respected. if there's a distinction. But there is that distinction in modern Hebrew. But like I said, with lekarev in the Joshua story, lekarev and leakriv, where there's it's unsure which one it means until you have the context. Modern Hebrew, for sure, lekarev means to bring close, and leakriv is to sacrifice. But in the Bible, lekarev can sometimes be used for sacrificing, and leakriv can sometimes be used for sacrificing, and either one can also be used for bringing close, and it really just depends on the context. We have made a cut, and we've made a distinction in modern Hebrew. The same is true with mechubad and nichbad, where in modern Hebrew we have an obvious distinction between respected and respectable. Hu ish mechubad, he's a respectable man. Hu ish nichbad, he is a respected man. But that distinction, it's probably just from modern Hebrew. It doesn't exist in the Bible. So number 9, Zichru et Yom HaShabbat lekadesh oto. In the Bible it says, Zachor et Yom HaShabbat lekadesho. Lekadesho is lekadesh oto. So this Zichru is an imperative, plural, instead of using Zachor, which is the infinitive absolute. So it says, remember the Sabbath day to make it holy, to sanctify it. All right. So in other words, remember to sanctify the Sabbath day, but it's a roundabout way to say it. Like, don't forget to set the Sabbath apart from other days. That's basically the idea.
Hashemayim misaparim kavod Adonai v'haaretz mahalelet
Kvod, not chavod.
kavod Adonai v'haaretz mahalelet et shmo. The heavens recount the glory of the Lord of. Sorry, I'll remember to do that. Promise. Of the Lord, and the earth, the land, or we'll just in the earth, praises His name.
So of course, the heavens and the earth is like a way of saying everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the heavens tell the glory of God, and the earth praises His name, meaning everything, everything in existence praises God.
I get 1 in 14, but up until now, I have not actually had a single pu'al in any of my translations.
Oh,
I get 2 in 14 though. It's okay. It's just one of those things that like nobody else is going to notice that except me, since it's happening to me.
We are at Yalen, number 11.
Lama tekabdu et levav.
Okay, notice the placement of that chaf, not tekabdu, but techabdu.
Techabdu et levavchem kasher kibdu avotechem et levavam lifanai. Why? Why? So this, I went and I did some searching, and I found what this line was referring to, and it's in Isaiah 6:6, and it's the Philistine priests talking to the Philistines, comparing, and they were saying, why do you harden your heart like Pharaoh did? So here it's why why will you?
So the imperfect, or the ktol, often functions as an ear reel. So you could use it with all kinds of moods. You say, why would you harden your heart? Why should you harden your heart? It's this ear reel mood, right? So you could render it as, why do you do it? If you're asking, but I think normally it's got this moody sense to it. Why would you do this? Why should you do this?
Why would you harden your heart? Your heart hearts. And kasher kivdu as your
Mhm.
fathers, and this is perfect, hardened their hearts before you.
Before me.
Before me.
Oh, before me.
Yeah.
Before me, yeah, lefanai. And why is the form lefanai with the kamats?
Kamatz is the pausal form.
Pausal form, okay.
Pause with sof pasuk, et nachta, sometimes other accents. All right. You could to harden your heart. You could use lechabed or lakshot, like kashe, lakshot.
So what is it? It's in Hefil and in Exodus, or in Exodus. Hekibadti, lama hekibadti.
Lachabid, maybe also. Yeah.
Where God caused his heart to be hardened.
Yep. Number 12. 12 in Hebrew.
You know, do you know happy am not to have number 13? So I have number 12. Anyway.
So there are only 14, right? So that's good.
ויהי אחרי הדברים האלה, ויקבד ברור את ליבו ולא שמע אל משה. And it was after these words, Pharaoh hardened his heart and did not listen to Moses. Correct? I think so.
Yeah. And it was after these words, or after these things. In this case, Jonathan would argue that Vayhi should not be translated. He just says, after these things, Pharaoh hardened his heart. That's how Jonathan would take it, obviously. All right. 13. כה אמר אדוני לעיר ירושלים, הנני מפזר את בנייך בתוך הגויים, והיו מפוזרים כצאן אשר אין להם רועה, ובוקשו ולא ימצאו. ושאלו הגויים, איה העם אשר יצא ממצרים? והיה כי יקראו אלי בלב נשבר, ושמעתי את קולם, וקיבצתי אותם אלי כרועה אשר יקבץ את צאנו. This sounds like something that would be written in Ezekiel. Thus said, or thus says, normally we say it in the present tense in English, thus saith the Lord. Thus says the Lord to the city Jerusalem. Behold, I spread out, or lefazer, like to spread them out, disperse.
Scatter.
Scatter. I scatter your children in the midst of the nations, and they will be scattered as a flock which has no shepherd. And they will be sought, like they will look for them, and not found. Okay, they will be sought and not found. And the nations, the goyim, the nations, will ask, where is the people that came out of Egypt? And it will be that they will call upon me with a broken heart, belev nishbar, We would say today maybe believe shavu, nishbav, and I will hear their voice. And I will gather them together to me as a shepherd, like a shepherd, that gathers or would gather, should gather his flock. Oh, so we've got a couple of quotes here. So this one is double and this one single. Good. And any questions about that? Let's notice the vishamati, the kibbutz T. The accent is on the end because it's a it's the aerial form. You could translate this several different ways, of course. When they call upon me with a broken heart, I will hear their voice. So the key could be when. Right? When they call upon me with a broken heart, I will hear their voice and I'll gather them to myself. There are lots of ways you could translate it, and we're just sticking with the simple, straightforward.
All right. Batok kadoshecha tahulal v'shimcha Yehuvad la'olam.
Yehubad.
Yehubad. Yeah, thank you. In the midst of your holiness.
No, not holiness, but holy ones. In the midst of your saints.
Saints. Okay, thank you. Your saints, you will be praised. And your name will be honored forever.
Yep. Brilliant. So that is the pual. Now for passive, we have the pual, which is the passive of PL, and we've got the nifal, which functions normally as the passive of the kal. So far, we've covered those four stems: kal, nifal, PL, pual. So in the next session, we are poised, I believe, to cover the hifil, and then the next one, the hufal, which is the passive of the hifil. And we're constantly building, going toward a complete coverage of Hebrew grammar. If you are not on Patreon, go to sign up, go to the patreon.com/HebrewCafe.com, patreon.com/HebrewCafe, sorry, and get signed up so you can join us in the English to Hebrew. You guys did really well. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
How do you feel about the progress?
Hebrew, huh? Good.
How do you feel about the progress so far? Yeah, you enjoying?
I think it's great, actually.
Yeah, I'm glad we're getting into the other stems, the other binyanim, just because it widens our
activity.
What we can do. One of the things I'm helping do at Biblingo is develop fluency drills, and it's driving me crazy right now because we're only up to like lesson 15 or 14 that I'm working on. So like I have like nothing, like I have I have very little vocab, very little like verbiage to work with right now, and it's killing me because I'm like I can't find what I need to find. I can't do what I need to do. They've gotten at least a taste of all the tenses in the call, but I can't use any PLs or hifils or any of the derived stems yet, and it's like but it
would be really hard to stick with just call verbs. Like that would not be easy.
Yeah, it's very hard, especially because when I'm doing them, I have to find examples in the text to like base them off of, and like I'm allowed to morph them as I find necessary. Like I can adjust them, but it's one of those things that like I'm spending more time like trying to make sure that I'm not including anything that they not covered yet. So, but it's a challenge.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's a fun exercise in some ways too. As challenging as it is.
Indeed.
Do you guys think
Biblinger
that,
looks like a really fun program.
Do you guys think that the exercise for like English Hebrew translation, don't you think this is the most helpful because you really kind of exercise your mind quite a bit and work on a lot of things just to get it right? Like I personally, this exercise 20 English to Hebrew, it took me hours. I don't know if you guys have this problem like me or not.
I typed them out. I typed up the English, but I haven't even looked at them. Like I just typed them like looking.
Yeah.
Type. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is by far the most difficult of the exercises that we do though. Like they are just exponentially harder because not only are you having to
you learn the most from that, I think,
because
a lot more than Hebrew to English.
Yeah, you're using more processes because you're not only recalling the information, you're generating it. You are recalling it, you're generating it, and you're still having to focus on meaning in the process. So like, yeah, your brain's doing a lot more, for sure, and that's why it's the best for output. That's why output is helpful for internalizing and automatizing the stuff, the content.
Well, according to the second language acquisition model that Krashen put out, you should not be producing for several levels of the language. Like everything should be passive until you've absorbed enough to start trying to. And so the facilitator, the teacher, should never expect someone in early stages to perform. Even yes, no. Like yes, no is probably the extent. Even when they've already covered the present tense and the past tense, like you can't expect them to start using the language until they've got a pretty good basis built. But anyway, we're not following that. We're doing grammar translation method, which is awful as far as second language acquisition is concerned.
But Krashen's general point makes sense, though. How are you going to produce anything that you've not first taken in? Like you can't. You know, you don't know. You can't say hello even in English until you've heard it. You don't know that it's a word until until you've taken it in. So it makes sense that, of course, input is like the fundamental thing, but in terms of like deeply.
Well, I think the entire model is fundamental. Like the effective filter is absolutely necessary for the teacher to break down. He needs to make the student feel comfortable. If they don't feel comfortable, they will never absorb anything.
Yep.
So that's the number one thing. The teacher needs to know the material well enough to do I+1. Yeah. That he can challenge the student, but not speak at a level that will have their head spinning and they're completely lost. They need to be able to understand what's produced.
And do you know what he means by I+1? Galen, Adele, y'all know what he means by that? So what I is like your input plus one more thing. One.
It's I is basically the level of the language that the student knows. And +1 is like a little bit further that's going to challenge him. It's going to be new, but it's not going to be so new that it's like I+10. It's like not going to be so new that he won't be able to understand what's going on.
You're only adding one layer on top instead of multiple layers. And so
the person who put together this language acquisition model is Stephen Krashen. I think 70s? He was writing in the 70s, 60s, 70s, I think. And he is still pushing for second language acquisition and doing a fantastic job.
Yeah. It is the building by far like the most revolutionary theory, I think, for the second language acquisition field, because everything else has been built on top of that. But
I think he is to second language acquisition what Cook and Homestead are to linguistics in biblical Hebrew.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably fair. Yeah, they yeah, it's called the input hypothesis though.
Well, his entire build is called the natural method.
Yes,
And he wrote a book called The Natural Method that
and
it's available for free on his website.
Yep.
And,
which I have a
very
link to, if anybody wants it. So.
All right, so we've got 5 minutes to the next session, so let's go ahead and move over. Anyone who's on Patreon as a paid member is welcome to join us, and we are going to get started on the English to Hebrew. We'll see you guys in the next session.